Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up. Today we're pulling back the curtain on a shocking story, a blueprint for betrayal, corruption, and abuse of public trust. Think you know Tamworth, New South Wales? Well, think again. This is Unmasking Tamworth, a blueprint for betrayal. First, a startling picture. Imagine a peaceful town, nestled amidst Australia's stunning landscapes, symbolizing opportunity and community spirit. Tamworth, by all outer appearances, embodies this idyllic imagery. But look closer, and you'll find a murky depth of corruption, crime, and betrayal at levels almost unimaginable. We're here to expose that today. Let's talk about Mayor Colin Murray, a man sworn to uphold the interests of his constituents, but whose actions allegedly suggest otherwise. In August 2017, Murray embarked on a trip to China. What might seem like a standard diplomatic endeavor soon spiraled into a scandal involving criminal activities, intentional tortious interference, anti-competitive trade practices, and malicious circumvention. These acts allegedly inflicted harm not just regionally, but globally, disrupting business acquisitions and leaving behind a wake of economic devastation. But he wasn't working alone. General Manager of Tamworth Regional Council, Paul Bennett, reportedly played a significant role. Documents and correspondence sent to business counterparts and potential investors paint a damning picture. Contracts were cancelled. Property sales, legally awarded through public expressions of interest, were undone. What's worse, these assets weren't simply redistributed, they were allegedly given away for free. All while a development worth $3 million unrealized, with dreams of sporting infrastructure and economic revitalization effectively erased from the map. Fast forward to today. Mayor Colin Murray, despite these claims shadowing his record, holds a prestigious position as chairman of Infrastructure Australia, a role handed to him, some speculate, due to connections with influential political figures like Barnaby Joyce and Kevin Anderson, individuals allegedly central to a complex web of fraud and embezzlement. Let's pause for a second to process this. Public servants not merely failing their duties, but manipulating systems to enrich themselves to the detriment of all Australians. And the scale, mind-boggling. We're talking about $210 million in fraudulent activities, including the manipulation of surface water licenses. Combined, these schemes have used banks to launder dirty money across international borders, hiding stolen fortunes in both domestic and foreign accounts. The results: public trust shattered, and a system overwhelmingly favoring the corrupt. Let's turn our attention to the environmental and infrastructural costs. Picture a booming project to expand Dungowan Dam, potentially contributing 500 megawatts of renewable electricity, a game changer for regional and national energy capacity. What happened? Mismanagement and corruption turned this promise into yet another casualty of bureaucratic exploitation. Infrastructure that could have powered homes, businesses, and communities, gone. Now reflect on this. Australia is no stranger to inquiries and commissions. In the past, we've seen royal commissions and investigations led by Australia. But how did these fail us when ministers themselves were allegedly involved in financial crimes? Non-existent infrastructure, staggering levels of fraud, and economic policies marked more by deceit than development. This all leads to a national byproduct of systemic corruption, a decline in treasury funds, equality, free trade, job security, and even well-being, illegal insider trading, antitrust violations, drug trafficking, racketeering, and worse still, crimes against humanity taint the very institutions sworn to raise our nation. Take a closer look at how drug and human trafficking have permeated justice systems. Far from stopping crimes, public servants appear to perpetuate, even facilitate, these atrocities. Think forced informants, local underworld alliances, and communities torn apart by these underhanded schemes. In a town like Tamworth, and on a broader scale, regional Australia becomes unrecognizable. Are you shocked yet? Unfortunately, we're just getting to the heart of the matter. Picture this: a globally recognized businessman seeking to build opportunity and innovation in Tamworth, partners with local government to create job opportunities and economic growth. Billions of dollars in investment, tens of thousands of new jobs, a region transformed. Yet what happens next boggles the mind. The businessman, his efforts and his reputation are sabotaged by the very people who initially embraced his vision. Through corruption and unconscionable behavior, Tamworth's own council undermines him. Employees he hired turn against him, becoming the pawns of power-hungry officials, all while law enforcement seems to assist or ignore escalating misconduct. The man is driven out, contracts worth billions are lost, and a region already plagued by poverty and unemployment sinks further into despair. Wonder why? The answer is as sinister as it is straightforward. Those in power profited, while society bore the costs. Think this sounds like fiction. It isn't. This disturbing reality is backed by irrefutable evidence, shedding light on an alarming truth. Tamworth, and potentially Australia at large, is mired in systemic corruption. Law enforcement, judiciary, politicians, positions meant to protect us instead prop up an organized criminal enterprise. Crimes committed with alarming frequency reveal magistrates, prosecutors, police officials, and court administrators betraying their oaths. Money laundering, drug syndicates, and exploitation of basic human rights occur with far too much regularity. Why? Because the system enables it. This isn't just a tear in the moral fabric of governance. It's an unraveling of the very edges of our society. When public officials counteract their legal and ethical obligations, when law enforcement is used to intimidate rather than protect, and when judicial hypocrisy undermines rights, we find ourselves standing at the crossroads of a nation's future. Ladies and gentlemen, let's face it, this isn't an isolated issue. From Tamworth to Tasmania, corruption seems to run through the veins of bureaucracy as if it were a lifeline. Regions flounder due to missing resources, exploitation, and economic sabotage. And yet, this betrayal doesn't go unchallenged. While our government fails us on numerous counts, a small yet mighty coalition of brave individuals rises to the occasion. Their mission: to expose these crimes, challenge corruption relentlessly, and ensure repatriation of misallocated public funds. But this fight is far from over. It's time for all Australians to join forces, advocate for transparency, demand accountability, and push for reform that eliminates corruption at the roots, not merely its branches. So let us leave you with these words. When governance becomes synonymous with betrayal, when public servants serve only their greed, and when corruption plunders a nation, it is the people that carry the power to rewrite the narrative. No matter what has been done, we must not be silent. Tamworth serves as a chilling example, but also as a crucial wake-up call. The question is, are we listening, Australia? Are we ready to act? This has been Unmasking Tamworth, a blueprint for betrayal. Thank you for being part of the conversation. Now let's make history together.